Commander Zrixtal's three eyes widened in horror as the sensor data flooded across his display. The bridge of the Sovereign-class dreadnought Eternal Dominion fell silent, save for the rhythmic pulse of warning indicators that now seemed deafening in the stillness. "Confirm the signature," he whispered, his mandibles clicking nervously. "Confirmed." "Commander," his sensor officer replied, her voice trembling. "Human vessel. Designation unknown. Mass reading suggests a warship." A collective shudder rippled through the bridge crew. For 3 cycles, the Caltherian Armada had swept through the outer territories unopposed, crushing resistance from a dozen species. Their fleet of 200 warships had been unstoppable. Until now. How many? Zrixtal demanded. "1 ship, sir. Just 1. The commander's relief lasted exactly 2 seconds before ice flooded his veins. Just 1. Those 2 words carried more terror than an entire enemy fleet. The humans never sent just 1 ship unless they were absolutely certain of victory. Supreme Admiral Corthan materialized on the holographic display, his scaled features twisted in concern. "Report, Commander." "My Lord Admiral, we have detected a human warship at the edge of the Theta 9 Nebula. Long-range scans indicate it's holding position, observing us." Corthan's expression hardened. "Evacuate the system immediately, my lord." Zrixtal couldn't hide his confusion. "We outnumber them 200 to 1. Our intelligence suggests intelligence means nothing when facing humanity." Corthan's roar silenced the bridge. "Did you sleep through your history modules, Commander? Do you not remember the Battle of Kepler's Gate?" Zrixtal did remember. Every military officer in the galaxy did. 17 years ago, a single human destroyer had held off an entire Vraxian battle group for 6 hours, buying time for a civilian evacuation. When the Vraxians finally boarded the crippled vessel, they found only 3 survivors, and 2,000 dead Vraxian Marines littering the corridors. "The Terrans have a saying," Corthan continued, his voice low and dangerous. "Beware the anger of a patient species. We have attacked their colonies, Commander. We have killed their people, and now they have sent one of their warships to deliver a message." On the sensor display, the human vessel began moving. It wasn't advancing in attack formation. It was positioning itself between the Caltherian Armada and the only viable jump point out of the system. "It's blocking our escape route," the navigation officer announced, her voice barely above a whisper. "Weapons range in 40 minutes, Tactical added. "Should I arm all batteries?" Zrixtal looked at the massive armada surrounding his flagship. 200 ships, thousands of weapons, hundreds of thousands of warriors, against 1 human vessel that couldn't be more than 800 meters long. "Open a channel," he ordered. All frequencies. Static filled the bridge before a voice emerged, calm, measured, and utterly devoid of fear. "Caltherian Armada, this is Captain Sarah Chen of the Terran Confederation ship Vindication. You have violated 14 treaties, destroyed 9 colonies, and murdered approximately 47,000 human civilians." A pause. "We're here to collect the debt." "Captain Chen," Zrixtal responded, forcing confidence into his voice. "You face 200 warships. Withdraw now and we will allow you to leave." Laughter, genuine, almost friendly laughter, echoed across the channel. "Commander, that's adorable. But here's what's actually going to happen. You're going to surrender your entire fleet within the next 30 minutes, or we're going to demonstrate why humanity doesn't field large fleets anymore." "You're bluffing. 1 ship cannot—" The sensor board exploded with alerts. The human warship had fired not at the Armada, but at an empty patch of space 30,000 kilometers away. The energy discharge was impossible. It read as if a star had momentarily winked into existence. When the sensors cleared, a chunk of the Theta 9 Nebula, roughly the size of a small moon, had simply ceased to exist, atomized by whatever weapon the humans had unleashed. "That was our main gun at 15% power." Captain Chen's voice returned, still unnervingly calm. "We call it a Helios cannon. Concentrated antimatter fusion beam. At full power, it can crack a planet's crust. Your shields won't even slow it down." Zrixtal stared at the tactical display. At 15%, the weapon had released more energy than his entire fleet could generate in a day. "But here's the thing, Commander," Chen continued. "That weapon takes 3 minutes to recharge. In a fair fight, you might actually overwhelm us before we could fire again. Might lose half your fleet doing it, but you'd probably win." The bridge crew perked up slightly at that admission. "Which is why we never fight fair." The sensor display lit up like a festival celebration. 17 more human warships decloaked surrounding the Caltherian Armada. In a perfect three-dimensional sphere, 18 Helios cannons now aimed at the heart of Corthan's fleet. As I said, Chen's voice carried a smile now. We don't field large fleets because we don't need to. Quality over quantity. Each of my sister ships has been tracking your Armada for the past 2 weeks, waiting for you to reach this system, far from your supply lines, far from reinforcements. Zrixtal felt his breathing grow shallow. They'd been herded, manipulated, led into a trap by an enemy they'd thought was fleeing in terror. 30 minutes, Commander, Chen said. Surrender or be destroyed. Unlike you, we'll accept your surrender and treat you according to the laws of war. We're angry, but we're not monsters. The holographic display flickered as Supreme Admiral Corthan reappeared. The proud warrior who had ordered the death of so many now looked centuries older. Stand down, he ordered quietly. All ships and stand down. Prepare for boarding and surrender. As Caltherian ships began powering down their weapons, Zrixtal understood the true horror of facing humanity. It wasn't their weapons or their tactics. It was their patience. They had waited, watched, and learned everything about their enemy before striking. They had controlled every variable, eliminated every advantage, and ensured victory before the battle had even begun. The humans had taught the galaxy a lesson today. There are those who fight with passion, and there are those who fight with precision, and when a species masters both, you pray you never face them in battle. Captain Chen's final transmission echoed through the bridge. Welcome to the consequences of your actions, gentlemen. We'll send boarding parties shortly. Chen out. In the darkness of space, 18 human warships held an armada of 200 in checkmate, and the legend of human warfare grew ever darker.